Season 2 Invitational Champion. He's on your left. Justin Uppal, 8-0 with Jund. He's on your right.
There's no better feeling than going back to the hotel room, going to bed undefeated.
Never done it.
Well, I'm telling you.
Yeah. That's as many Grand Prix, as many Opens I've played in, I've never been X-0 after day one.
It's the place where you want to be.
Was it good?
Yeah.
Yeah. A lot of the I've left on day one X and 1 a handful of times. X and 2 more often than not, which is a little bit frustrating. But I've always wanted to actually have the XO feeling and see what it's like. Because every time I see someone go XO on day one and not make day 2, I'm always just like, that would never happen to me. But it's not like I just get to choose what happens.
Sure.
So I just want to experience being XO after day 1 and then maybe experience the crash and burn as well.
Or just ride that train right in the top 8.
Absolutely. Either way is cool. I don't have a problem doing it either way.
I like how you went straight to the crash and burn scenario.
Well, I just feel like I feel like that's what would happen given how arrogant I am about someone who goes 9-0 and then doesn't make top 8. So it would certainly happen to me.
You're like, if I'm going to be so judgmental, I'll go through the worst of it.
Yeah, I have to experience it myself.
Learn my lesson the hard way.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Because it's not like it gets any easier on day 2 and 9-0. You're playing against everyone else who's got a great record and is having a great weekend and is very good at Magic. So it's not like, oh, 9-0, this is so easy. It actually is just probably harder at that point. Looks like Uppal's taking a mulligan here while Antrazi sitting pretty with his opening hand. We'll learn a little bit more about Ali Antrazi right now, our Season 2 Invitational champion last year. He's been playing Magic for a while.
He's got one of his own cards.
A national champion like yourself. We do know that, the 28-year-old from Matthews, North Carolina. 2 invitational top 8s with a win in Season 2 of last year. 10 Open Series top 8s with 2 victories. Self-proclaimed best mixtape creator, a professional teddy bear namer, 2011 United States champion.
How much money do you think he pulls in annually naming these teddy bears?
Probably a lot.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Wow.
I feel like...
How do you break into that racket?
6, 7... Well, the thing is, he got ahead of the game before anybody else.
Sure.
Because, you don't see that profession much, and there's probably not a real need for that profession either.
A big first mover advantage there.
Exactly. So he got in front of that before anybody else did. Now, I'm curious about how he goes about naming the teddy bears, and why he is so much better at it than everyone else, but...
I would think that is, insider information that he can't share.
That's probably true, because he doesn't want anyone to actually come onto his market.
Exactly.
And maybe take it away from him.
If anyone could do it.
Which clearly no one else can.
There goes his job.
I think he just goes to a Build-A-Bear and it's just boom, Teddy, boom, Ryan, just firing off names, walks out of the building. My work is done here.
Sure.
It's probably just goes to malls around the country and that's what he does.
Probably the names are not those.
Well, I'm not a professional teddy bear namer, so
okay.
You're probably right. I came up with Teddy and Ryan. That's probably...
Nailed it.
That's probably not it. That's probably not the best ones. Urza's mine into an expedition map. Here's a Dark Confidant. I'm willing to bet that there's no teddy bear in the world named Ryan.
That is a wager I would take. If only there was a way of resolving this.
And Urza's Tower and a Fastic of the turn. Antrazi's going to have access to Tron on the next turn. Kolaghan's Command was the reveal off Dark Confidant, and Dark Confidant the draw.
She's a fickle mistress, the Dark Confidant.
Yeah. And Kolaghan's Command's not helping much right now.
Antonino DeRosa was a big fan of playing Dark Confidant with very expensive spells.
Oh, I know.
Very.
I know.
And then acting like it was so unfair when he revealed them. It was great.
He played a deck at United States Nationals that had Dark Confidant, Greater Gargadon, and Hit Run.
Yep.
I do recall.
The deck was actually quite good.
It was. It actually was really good.
But every time the Gargadon shows up, it's an issue.
It'll teach you a lesson.
Yeah.
That's all. He probably had 10 life to spare.
But that's one thing, we look for a little more variance in our Magic deck.
Well, a lot of Magic players like to say they want to feel something, and you certainly do there. That's for sure. That's another one where I'm just curious who thought of that idea, basically. Just who cares? Just take 10. Then you have a Gargadon. Doesn't matter.
Well, it's more who cares, how often are you going to hit the Gargadon?
That's also true.
Yeah.
Tron is online here for Antrazi. And does he have a payoff card is the question. Well, there's a Worm Coil Engine in his hand, and that's the best card to have against Jund. So here is a turn 3 Worm Coil Engine. Pass the turn back, will Ali. Thought seizes the reveal. A little late here for Justin.
A little late to the party.
Yeah. And now there is a Swamp. So now the question becomes, can Justin Uppal work through this, and will Antrazi ever draw another payoff card?
Well, it's okay because this big Tarmogoyf can already battle what's on his opponent's side.
A 1/2 Tarmogoyf. Very powerful. Here is that Thoughtseize from Justin. He'll take 2 to cast it, of course.
That'll help open things up a little bit here.
Pyroclasm, Chromatic Sphere, an Oblivion Stone, a Forest, and Nurse's Mind. Those are the cards here in Antrazi's hand. Oblivion Stone looks like it's going to bite the dust pretty quickly.
Yep.
Tarmogoyf going to turn into a 2/3 now, given that there's a sorcery in the graveyard. And Antrazi will scoop up the contents of his hand. A swamp is the land here for Justin. Now remember, Uppal does have a copy of Kolaghan's Command in his hand. So Kolaghan's Command can actually take care of the first part of Wormcoil Engine.
Sure.
And I think we're going to see that happen right now. Along with maybe forcing Antrazi to discard a card. Antrazi thinking about discarding the basic forest.
A little greedy.
I think I want to keep the forest around. He's going to discard the Urza's Mine instead.
Sure.
There are the tokens there from the Wormcoil Engine. Now Antrazi will draw a card. Oblivion Stone, the draw.
Well, how convenient.
Yes. Isn't it wonderful when your opponent makes you discard a card and then you just draw the same one? Always feels great. Chromatic Star.
I guess it depends what side of the table you're on.
I suppose that's true. Here's Pyroclasm. Tarmogoyf for 4/5, going to live through that very easily. It's a 5/6 now. There's a creature in the graveyard. Antrazi still doing pretty good here. Could play the Sphere if he'd like to. And it appears that he will. Now there's O-Stone. There's a Forest. He's empty-handed and just going to pass the turn back.
He is empty-handed, but any card he draws now, he can just get onto the board.
Yep. Smart to empty the hand out there, too, as the draw for Uppal this turn was a copy of Inquisition of Kozilek. Uppal with a Dark Confidant in hand. It looks like he will deploy that and just pass the turn back. Antrazi will untap, take a draw. Does he find a big payoff card? Looks like Ghost Quarter may have been the draw, so he's going to cash in this Chromatic Sphere. Little mana floating here, just 1 red. Draw a card. And now there's a star. My favorite part of the deck.
Yep.
Just get to keep going.
Keep spinning.
Yeah. Now he'll sacrifice that for some mana. So colorless, a green, and a red mana floating here. See both players keeping track. See these nifty little things we got here?
Yeah, those are nice.
I know. Now we'll draw a card. Grove of the Burn Willows. Sometimes we make some gadgets. Make it easier for people to watch at home. Ghost Quarter is going to be the land. That's a good answer to the Raging Ravine.
Yeah, you can sweep up the board with the Oblivion Stone. The Ghost Quarter is there for the Ravine, and it leaves him plenty of time to do whatever he wants with this game.
In comes the Wormcoil Engine token.
The Death Toucher for sure.
Yeah. And now it looks like a passing the turn. Uppal's going to fall down to 11. Dark Confidant trigger. Wooded Foothills. Nothing to worry about there as far as life total is concerned. And now Inquisition of Kozilek the draw.
Not the greatest draw steps.
Seen better. So Uppal's got to get into a board position here that forces Antrazi to crack that Oblivion Stone. And then, you know, follow up with stuff.
Sure.
That's kind of the plan right now. Here's Inquisition. And a Reveal Grove. Nothing going on. Because what you don't want is for Ali to start activating Oblivion Stone, putting fate counters on things.
Well, that's his plan this turn.
Yeah.
You know, he might chump with the Lifelinker, put a fate counter on the Death Toucher, and then blow it up so that his opponent doesn't get any more cards off of the Confidant. Or he'll just take it.
He might have, I mean, he's got enough life to work with.
He does, and it opens him up to attack back with the lifelinker.
Yeah. So Antrazi's going to fall down to 13. Uppal going to sacrifice his Wooded Foothills, get himself a basic forest. And I think we might actually see Pia and Kieran Nalar as well. Uppal basically left with no choice. He's got to build a board that's big enough that Antrazi feels like it's uncomfortable and has to blow the O-Stone.
Yeah, this is unfortunate for him because that's his last threat that he has in his hand.
Mm-hmm.
But he's kind of backed into a corner here. He doesn't have a whole lot of options.
Here comes a Fate counter from the O-Stone. That'll go on to the Death Touch Worm. And now we go back on Antrazi's way.
What do you think? Should he have kept the lifelinker around?
I think I prefer the... Actually, I think his life total is high enough where I don't think it's going to matter very much. I do like the Death Toucher one because if we do kind of a blow-up reset the board and then Justin immediately draws Tarmogoyf, then you want to have the Death Toucher, not the lifelinker.
Yep.
Ancient Stirring's kind of a whiff. Just a power plant. Antrazi thinking about playing it. Might play Grove instead. I think he wants to play one of these lands.
Yeah, he'll make a land drop here. It's not a big deal which one he makes.
I think we also might see Antrazi activate the O-Stone now so that he can attack with the Death Touch Worm.
Yep.
So boom goes the Dynamite. And now here's an attack for 3. Uppal going to fall down to 7. Now there's some great draw steps here for Justin.
Yes, but you can see all that damage that he's taken throughout the game coming back to bite him here. All those Dark Confidants.
Yep, here's Inquisition.
See, and he knew that card too.
Yeah. He'll just play a land and pass the turn back. Here comes an attack. Going to fall down to 6. It's going to be a defensive Raging Ravine. It'll be an attempt at one.
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
Yep. As Antrazi does have a Ghost Quarter, so he can answer this if he'd like to. And Ghost Quarter going to take care of the Raging Ravine. So we'll see if Justin has another land to grab as he's searching through his deck pretty quickly. Get another basic forest out. And now Uppal's going to fall down to 3. Antrazi with that Urza's Power Plant. And now we're going to head back Uppal's turn. Uppal needs to obviously draw an answer to the creature.
And Uppal had the option there of just taking the damage and falling to 4.
Sure.
And not cracking the fetch land and potentially giving himself an extra turn in this game.
Let's see what this draw step yields. Tarmogoyf? That'll work.
Tarmogoyf?
This is why the Death Touch one
The Death Toucher is good against the Tarmogoyf.
There's an attack. There's a trade. Antrazi's hand right now is a Pyroclasm. That's it. Uppal will draw. Pass the turn back. Little draw go. This certainly favors Tron. There's a tower.
Oh, yeah.
Blackcleave Cliffs pass the turn back. Tower pass the turn back.
He has a few mana available.
Lightning Bolt pass the turn back over to Antrazi, who will draw. Another tower pass the turn back. Scavenging Ooze.
Okay.
We do have 2 major events tomorrow.
There's a Twilight Mire pass the turn back. Antrazi will draw.
There have been a lot of creatures that died this game. That Ooze could get real big.
Yep. Here's a Spellskite. That one doesn't matter all that much. And Justin has plenty of mana, so now it's time to take a look. Boy, this would be a heck of a game for Antrazi to lose. You get a draw go situation like that.
Oh, yeah. He had a lot of turns in there.
He has very few misses in his deck.
Yeah.
Sylvan Scrying, Eye of Ugin. Or excuse me, Sylvan Scrying, Expedition Map 5, and Eye of Ugin. He's got 3 Ulamogs. He has more Worm Coil engines.
But even the Ancient Stirrings, it's hard for those to miss.
Stirrings is hits. Karns are hits. He only has 1 Ugin in his deck. If he loses this game, I would be truly shocked. Scavenging Ooze is going to put a lot of pressure on it, and Uppal knows he's trying to run away with one here. Chromatic Stars and Spheres are redraws too.
Yep.
Now, I think Ali's got enough mana now because I think he has all 4 towers, where if he draws Sylvan Scrying or Eye of Ugin or Expedition Map, he can search up Eye, activate.
Yeah, gets anything he wants.
And play whatever. Raging Ravine the draw. One thing worth noting, I believe when Ali played the Spellsky, Justin did have a Lightning Bolt in hand that didn't cast. And that 3 damage, Ali could be at 10 as opposed to 13.
Sure, I mean, I would think that Ali would just chump block here.
Okay.
He doesn't want his opponent to draw an Abrupt Decay and have a good target for it.
Sure, very true.
You know, he won't get to chump block later in the game. The argument against chump blocking is that you're just putting another creature into the graveyard and ooze gets bigger.
Very true. Karn Liberator was the draw. Antrazi going to take a look at the graveyard here. Karn Liberated is a momentary solution to some of the problems that are taking place right now. Antrazi will take a look at his graveyard as well, see what's going on.
So we'll probably see Karn come down, eat the ooze, and then just die to the Raging Ravine the next turn.
So what I think is interesting about that, I think it really depends on what Justin draws for the turn. Because he's got a Bolt that can take care of it. He's got a Ravine.
Yep.
And then he's got enough mana that I think his draw step can influence his decision.
Yeah, it's not that cut and dry.
Ooze is going to eat a little something here. I am curious right now, so you see Justin kind of going through the graveyards about what he wants to eat with Scavenging Ooze. He has 3 oozes in his deck. This means that future oozes are bad.
And the Kolaghan's commands. He turns off Kolaghan's command if he just eats all of his creatures.
Yeah. And I don't think going from 6 to 8 or up to 9 now, Tron hits with Ulamog and all these other gigantic, ridiculous cards. I think I would rather leave creatures in the graveyard for Kolaghan's command, as you mentioned.
It might give him another turn with Wormcoil Engine.
Yeah, potentially.
And I'm surprised to see him use the Bolt there when he has so much mana before he draws his card.
Yeah, likewise.
The extra information is just a resource that he can use.
There's Dark Confidant. Pass the turn back.
Okay, let's see that extra life. Maybe it was right.
Take a draw. Okay. It could be anything.
Let's sweat some more cards.
Green mana floating. Antrazi will draw a card.
And it's funny, the Pyroclasm that he's had in his hand for several turns could have been stripped out of there with the Inquisition that Justin cast.
When he knew he had a land.
If he was playing more careful, he would have known that it was a land.
Yep. Well, all of this fun, I think, is coming to a close now.
The fun police are here?
Yeah, Ulamog is here and not particularly pleased about what's been happening recently.
He's going to shut down the party?
Yeah. I think it's time for Dark Confidant and Raging Ravine to go away. And those are gone now.
Hey, guys, we've gotten some complaints. A little too much noise.
Yeah. Keep it down.
Everyone's going home.
Yeah. Uppal picked up a copy of Scavenging Ooze, I believe. Not a good time to read Ulamog. Might want to have done that a little bit earlier. Not really something you want to see on the other side of the table. There's Scavenging Ooze. Well, they're both creatures.
Yep.
They can get into combat with each other.
Sure. They can interact.
Mm-hmm. Ali going to take a look at his graveyard here. Shrugged his shoulders and says, I think Ulamog should be attacking. I'm going to take a look here at Justin's graveyard really quick, too.
Justin has left a Goyf in his graveyard. Probably just the best creature in case he draws a Kolaghan's command.
Yeah, there's Karn.
Oh.
Yeah, well, take care of that
sure.
and take care of you. So, Ali Antrazi is going to win at game number 1 here against Justin Uppal. Green-Red Tron up a game here over Jund. As now we take a look at the sideboards here for both players. And we will start with Justin Uppal. I have to imagine he's got some land destruction coming to the table, as these Jund decks so oftentimes do. So we will take a look at a Shatterstorm, an Obstinate Baloth, a Disfigure, a Duress, 2 Kitchen Finks, a Painful Truths, a Feed the Clan, a Grim Lavamancer, 2 Fulminator Mage, 2 Ancient Grudge, Crumble to Dust. What a hater. And a Slaughter Pact.
Well, I mean, the Fulminator Mages and the Crumble to Dust are easy additions. The dream is to, turn 3 Fulminator, turn 4 Crumble to Dust. You get the Fulminator back later with some Kolaghan's commands, and you've just locked your opponent out.
That's what we call easy mode.
Yeah.
Other things, duress isn't bad in the matchup. Painful Truths can be okay if you have enough time for that. I think Ancient Grudge is okay too.
Okay.
I think there are enough bad cards in Justin's deck that he can sideboard out. A little bit of the discard sometimes leaves. Abrupt Decay is not particularly potent.
Yeah.
Because the one thing Ancient Grudge actually does do is it does a nice job of fighting Wormcoil Engine.
Sure.
So some options there for Justin. It is an uphill road here, though, as Ali Antrazi has a Pit Needle, 2 Relic Progenitus, 2 Thragtusk, 2 Rending Volley, 4 Nature's Claim, 2 Spellskite, and 2 Fire Spouts.
All right, and we'll see. The relics come in for sure. We'll see if he wants to Thragtusk. Earlier we saw Joe Lissette go a little bit lower with some of his creatures and have success with that. I would imagine that they come in. And, maybe Fire Spout is good enough in this matchup as a removal spell.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. I think that Thragtusk is going to come in, but this is a matchup that, and this was, almost 2 years ago now, where I just didn't really sideboard much against them because it's so positive.
Sure.
They're bringing Fulminator Mages to the table. Justin only has 2, where some people have 3 or 4. You just don't want to dilute your deck too much. Just have it continue to do the same thing. I think Ali's deck is built in such a fashion that he's actually just got a really good build in his main deck to beat Jund. Even card like Pyroclasm does a nice job against Dark Confidant, which is one way that you can lose, and Scavenging Ooze. So
yep.
I don't think it needs to change too much, but we'll see what he elects to change. I can certainly see him bringing in Thragtusk, though. As these players do get ready here for game number 2. We'll talk about the StarCityGames.com newsletter very quickly here. It is your source for Magic the Gathering news, where you can get your latest news on the SCG Tour, watch the SCG Tour Match of the Week, receive exclusive deck list and advice, catch up on all the event results, read an exclusive cardboard crack comic as well. Best of all, it is free to sign up for. Go to StarCityGames.com/newsletter. You're going to be sitting on your computer anyway.
Might as well get it.
So just sign up. It doesn't cost anything.
The cardboard crack comic alone is worth it.
Yeah, what are we even doing? It's just free.
I think so many of those are so funny.
They're quite good.
And then I share them with my wife.
How does she feel about that?
And she's just like, I don't get it.
Yeah. Come on, Jasmine.
Seriously.
They're comics. Has she ever played Magic?
What do you mean, babe? You don't get Jace references. Come on.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. Has she ever played Magic?
Very limited.
Very little bit. Gotta teach her the ways, man.
We each have our own interests.
Is that your nondescript way? Is that your nondescript way of saying no?
She's super musical.
Okay.
And I'm musically illiterate.
Okay.
Right. So and she doesn't feel like she needs to force me to learn to play an instrument or sing with pitch. and I appreciate that.
If you could play any instrument, which one would you want to play or learn?
I'm a big fan of the piano.
That's my answer too, actually.
I just feel like the people who are amazing piano players just can convoke so much emotion.
I agree.
Through the piano.
I agree. I want to learn how to play the piano. I want to learn how to play the drums. Those are my big 2.
Okay.
I love drums, and I just, you're like at a restaurant or something, and just the piano. Some guy's just playing the piano, or someone's just playing. I just think it's awesome.
Well, some of my friends are pianists. Eugene Harvey. Very, very good.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Okay, that's cool.
And if I was good at that, everywhere I went, if there was a piano, I would just want to sit down and show off.
I would do the same thing.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I do the same thing.
And he doesn't do it.
Yeah. I don't know how anyone controls that. I would just, a piano.
Yeah.
Don't mind if I do.
Here we go.
Yeah, just start tapping the keys.
Time to blow your socks off.
Yeah.
This
is just a thing I do. I just play piano sometimes in public in front of everyone. Yeah.
That or the jazz flute.
The Yaz flute. That's not a bad choice either. Not a bad choice. I would, I once said, if I could do a backflip, I would just backflip everywhere.
Sure.
Because what's the point of walking anymore?
Yeah.
I can just keep doing this, so I would just do that always. That's probably not true.
Not 100% true, but
I would do backflips a lot.
There would be a lot of backflips.
I would do backflips a lot. Probably until I ate it on one, and then I would stop doing them as much.
Yeah.
I think that's what would probably stop me. It's a life goal.
All right.
Just to be able to do a backflip. Some standing, boom, backflip, no problem.
Let's see if you get some practice in tonight.
I think that's not a great idea because
Okay.
I have to do this tomorrow. And I don't want to be injured with that.
Well, fortunately, you sit down the whole time.
I have a huge bruise on my face, I feel like. I don't think I'd make it all the way around.
All right.
Personally. But if I'm on a trampoline, I can do a backflip. That's got to count for something.
For the future, we'll work on the backflips.
Okay, great. We spend some time together here. So, Patrick would never work on backflips with me.
And the kayaking.
That's never going to happen.
All right.
I'm not going in water for any reason. Ollie's going to lose a chromatic star, it appears. You see his hand here of Wormcoil Engine, Thrag Tusk, a tower, a Grove of the Burned Willows, and there's his power plant. Seriously, you cannot pay me money to get in a kayak or like any water thing.
All right, I'm not trying to make it.
It's just not going to happen.
I just thought you'd like to, go out have a good time.
Kayaking looks fun.
On a river.
Yeah.
A couple of brewskis.
That sounds horrifying.
A little sun, some barbecue.
Can we just do that not in water? Can't we like go? Well, camping kind of sucks too. Can't we just like go to a park?
Camping's not really.
Yeah, can't we just go to a park and do that?
Sure.
Yeah, why do we have to like be in water and I could potentially die? I don't understand. Dark Confidant turn 2.
I don't have a good reason.
Like if I fall in the water, are you going to save me? Exactly. You're thinking. You're thinking. Your answer should just be yes immediately. You're thinking about it.
Absolutely, Cedric.
Yeah, okay. Here's a Fulminator Mage. Does Uppal have land number 3? Well, the answer is yes. It just picked up a forest for the turn. Dark Confidant going to come in.
We'll see if Allie can just natural Tron on turn 3 here.
Well, Fulminator Mage is going to say no. Yeah, tower down. Chromatic Star is the draw. I think we're going to see a Sylvan Scrying here. Now, one of the things about Tron that's nice, it's a pretty resilient deck. It can keep assembling Tron, so that's what Ollie's going to have to keep doing as he searches up another tower. Over to Justin Uppal, we're going to go. Trigger the Dark Confidant. There's a Terminate. He'll take 2 for that, fall down to 16. See what the draw is for the turn. A Swamp.
Looks like another Fulminator Mage in his hand.
Yep. Always a good place to be.
Really keeping Antrazi far, far away from the Tron.
There's another Fulminator Mage. Going to use that to take care of the power plant. There is a Verdant Catacombs, pass the turn back. Ancient Stirring's to draw here for Antrazi. Looks like he's going to start by casting that.
Keep working towards that Tron.
Yeah, I mean, you don't have a choice. You just got to keep trying to rebuild. He's going to whiff here as far as a Tron piece is concerned. Ugin and Chromatic Sphere, Chromatic Star within those cards.
And he's so far from Ugin, I can't see him taking it.
Yeah, just got to let that go. Going to take a Chromatic Star. Urza's Towers and Land. And there's a star. And Uppal will sacrifice this Verdant Catacombs. See what land he wants to search up. Does have Kolaghan's Command and Terminate in hand. Kolaghan's Command is a way to go about getting Fulminator Mage back and keeping the pressure on. Uppal's searching for something in particular. See what land he's looking for. There's a Stomping Ground. What do you think? Bring Bloodbraid Elf back?
Why do you want to just put all the problematic cards back in the format?
I have a problem. I just want to play like one unbanned Modern tournament again, like it wasn't.
Like we've seen so many awesome decks, like such a wide variety.
Yeah.
And you're like, hey, like, can we ruin this?
Yeah.
How on board are you with just ruining
I just want to see a Bloodbraid Elf cascade into a Kolaghan's Command, returning a Bloodbraid Elf, and the world go crazy.
Sure.
That's all. It's mostly me. I have a problem. Inquisition going to take care of her Chromatic Star. Some people just want the world to burn. That's all.
You've been watching too much Fight Club.
Sort of.
Okay.
Is there such thing as too much?
The movie's very good.
Yeah, exactly. Kolaghan's Command here on the upkeep. Wormcoil Engine down, Fulminator Mage back to the grip.
And you see the Jund deck just doing everything that it does. A little bit of card advantage with the Dark Confidant, a little bit of pressure, a little bit of discard, a little bit of disruption on the lands.
Here's a Sylvan Scrying. The only thing that Justin is not doing a nice job of this game is closing the game out quickly. And if he runs into, maybe a pocket of lands or some irrelevant discard spells, Ollie could assemble Tron and do something big because he's always been a piece away.
Yep.
Gonna search up a power plant. Gonna play a Tron land. This is gonna force Uppal to Fulminator Mage again, and Ollie's gonna have to keep rebuilding. But Ollie has a mine in his hand, and he's got another Sylvan Scrying over there. So he's always just one turn away.
Yeah, he's close.
Yep, there's the land. And excuse me, the green card has a threat. That's not a scrying. He's going to play the sphere and pass the turn back. Uppal's going to sacrifice his Verdant Catacombs. Remember, both these players 8-0. Winner of this match goes into tomorrow undefeated and in great shape to make the top 8.
Players, once again, a reminder, we are still taking registration for tomorrow morning's classic events. Our standard
There's a blood crypt.
at 9 a.m. The Legacy Classic begins at 9:30. If you are planning on playing at one of these events,
So let's go back to Justin Uppal's way, see what Dark Confidant's going to bring to the table.
Sure. What do you think? A real dagger here?
What's a real dagger in this spot?
Crumble?
Yeah, that's fine. Crumble is the ultimate dagger.
Sure.
Crumble just probably ends the game, honestly. Abrupt Decay the draw. Abrupt Decay's fine.
It's interesting that that's still in the deck.
I'd prefer that to be Grudge. I don't know if he has Grudge in or not, if there's Thoughtseize.
Sure. I mean, all these cards are. It's just so good. Even Ali, if Ali hits the Tron here, he's now out of threats.
Yep.
He's been ground down into nothing.
I'm just going to take a look at the Chromatic Sphere. Make sure if you kill that, you don't draw a card. Chromatic Star, if it gets killed, you do get to draw a card.
Sure.
Antrazi will draw. Hers is mine. By the way, his draw step was a power plant. Just saying. Dark Confidant, what do you have? Ah, Tarmogoyf, finally a way to win.
That's a goodie.
And Wooded Foothills. Here comes Dark Confidant. So this is the issue, is that the closing speed is I don't want to say too slow because Justin could just win in 2 turns, but
yeah.
it depends on what Ali draws.
Sure.
Looking through the graveyard, huh? Yep. 2 power plants in hand. Might as well play 1, pass the turn back. So Tron is finally assembled, now he needs a payoff. Blackleaf Cliffs, draw a card. Tassiger, that's big.
Yeah, not a lot of time for him here.
Nope. Tarmogoyf to 5/6. If Ali finds that Ugin.
Yep, Ulamog or Ugin.
Yeah, Ulamog will do just fine too. He's got access to 8 mana, another power plant in hand. That would be 9 and 10. I think if I'm Justin, I'm still going to cast my Tassiger because I can activate it
Oh, yeah.
and control what I return, which would be Fulminator Mages. And pass the turn back. What's that draw step? That's the Grove of the Burnwolves. That's not going to do it. Justin Uppal's going to win game number 2 here against Ali Antrazi. John to Green Red Tron going to go to game number 3. That's the recipe.
Yep.
However, that recipe only works very well on the play.
Sure.
It's a pretty poor recipe on the draw. So I don't know if Justin's going to change very much on the play or on the draw, but that plan of Fulminator Mage-U, Kolaghan's Command Fulminator Mage-U, it works beautifully on the play.
Yes.
So that'll give you an idea. Crumble also gets a little bit worse on the draw too.
But it's still the best options that he has.
Yeah, absolutely. He's still going to bring those in without question. As we take a look at the sideboards here yet again. Again, Justin's got the 2 Fulminator Mages, Crumble to Dust. I imagine at least 1 Ancient Grudge, maybe 2 are in. I like Duress as well on his side. Painful Truths maybe a little bit too slow in this matchup. But he doesn't bring a lot to the table for the match because the matchup's so tough.
Well, it's so grindy. You know, if he's going to win, it's going to be a longer game.
Yep.
So maybe he wants those Painful Truths. His life total is not a big deal.
That's very true. Very true. On the other side of things for Antrazi, we saw the Threat Tusk in his hand. They never got to cast. He's already shuffling back up here for game number 3, so I imagine that's going to still be in the deck. Maybe Spellskite's in there, maybe not. He already has some in his main deck, so not a ton of options here for either player. Relic Regenis could potentially be in for Ali as well to slow down Tarmogoyf a little bit.
I would think it would be in.
Yeah.
It turns off the Kolaghan's Command. It slows down Tassiger, makes Tarmogoyf smaller, and it always cycles.
Yeah, I guess that's enough for it to work out pretty well. So game number 3 about to be underway. We'll talk about the StarCityGames.com YouTube page here very quickly to close out our day, where you can watch reviews of the Versus series with Brad Nelson, Todd Anderson, and Tom Ross. You've got premium archives of our Premium Magic Online videos, Open Series archives where you can go back and watch this match and other Open Series and SCG Tour results, unboxings, and a whole bunch more.
Much more.
Much more, as it does say. YouTube.com/StarCityGames. Become a subscriber, one of over 70,000 right now. As we get ready here for game number 3. Yeah, 70,000.
That's a lot.
Got a lot of those. I want 70,000 subscribers.
Someone can win a Waffle House dinner.
Yeah, they can. We're doing this again.
Oh. Sorry.
can't we just... Yeah, you're going to win the Waffle House dinner.
All right,
I'm going to buy you 2, and you have to eat them both.
I'm out.
Because you have to eat both waffles. I'm going to buy you a nice bowl of birch chili.
Birch chili.
Bert.
Oh, Bert.
Bert. His name is Bert.
Oh, it's his chili.
It's his chili. Now, it's unclear who Bert is,
Yeah.
but Bert has chili at the Waffle House.
All right.
That's correct.
I don't have anything named after me.
Exactly. You have to imagine if he's got chili that he has in the restaurant, it's got to be at least pretty good.
I'm sure he's an accomplished chef.
Right? It's got to at least be pretty good.
Yeah. Went to a fine culinary school in France.
Yeah.
Yep.
Specializing in chili.
Yeah. The finest chili techniques.
Antrazi will be on the play here for game number 3. Taking a little look here at the grip. He'll keep, as does Uppal. We're underway here. Urza's Mine into Chromatic Sphere. Uppal will draw. Liliana, Blackcleave Cliffs. Blackcleave Cliffs is where he's going to start. Here is an Inquisition. The hand here for Antrazi has a Sylvan Scrying, 2 copies of Expedition Map, a Chromatic Star, and a Forest.
All right. So you peel out the Sylvan Scrying here.
I like taking the Scrying.
Yeah. Everything else is pretty slow. He can't start finding Tron pieces with one of the maps until 2 turns.
Yeah. And there goes the Scrying. Ollie was basically trying to perfect him there. If he draws a Tron piece, he can get the job done. See if he found a Tron piece here. He did not, so it's just going to be a basic Forest, and now a Scrying. So,
Not a bad draw step.
yeah, not bad at all. Mine or Power Plant on the way. Antrazi going to go with Power Plant.
Have you ever searched for the wrong land?
Once.
That's the kind of mistake you only make once.
Yeah.
Did you then go and change all the artwork of?
All of my Urza's lands are the same.
Okay.
They're all the same, and I was very, very upset when I searched for the wrong land.
Sure, of course.
Yeah, very mad. Because I always like double and triple check just to make sure I'm not doing something stupid, and it did happen one time. But as you said, you only make that mistake once. You live and you learn, then you let it go. Wormcoil Engine was the draw for Antrazi. That's a Power Plant. Here's an Expedition Map. Pass the turn back over to Uppal. Time to reveal Painful Truths.
There it is.
Yeah, down to 17. And now the draw, Maelstrom Pulse.
Little bit clunky.
A touch. A lot of 3-mana spells over there. Here comes Dark Confidant. Doesn't appear as though Uppal has a Fulminator Mage at this stage. Does have Liliana and can get to work that way if he'd like. We'll start by playing Verdant Catacomb, sacrifice that, take at least 1, fall down to 16, potentially 2 more, but I'll just go with the basic Swamp. And for Uppal this game, I think his role kind of shifts. Now, I'm a little bit surprised to see Painful Truths here, honestly.
Well, I think he feels like he needs to find an answer to one of these Tron pieces right away.
Couple of lands in the Liliana. My plan, if I'm Justin in that spot, is I'm going to play Liliana, take it up, because it's not that the best payoff thing you can do is Wormcoil Engine. It's more about killing the lands now. It doesn't matter as much because like you're not bottlenecking him like you were in game 2.
Sure.
Like he can just keep going. Like I found my Tron land, play it and do something.
Yes.
So now I just want to answer the threats that he could possibly play. Which is hard, but Liliana, I think, is a step in the right direction of doing that. Also, he's got a Maelstrom Pulse in his hand, too, so he could go tick down Liliana, kill your Wormcoil Engine, pulse the 2 Worm tokens. That problem's taken care of. And I don't care as much about the lands anymore. It just felt like he had to do something. It felt like he had to do something to get on the board, because I don't think that he has the window to blow up a land anymore and have it be effective. And there's a Wormcoil Engine. 1 mana floating. Couple of little artifacts there in Chromatic Star and Expedition Map, and now we go back Uppal's way. He'll trigger the Dark Confidant. There's an Abrupt Decay. And now there's Twilight Mire for the draw step. There's the Liliana. That'll come down, take care of the Worm Coil Engine. 2 worms left behind.
Sure, Worm Coil Engine does not care.
No, Worm Coil Engine's a silly card. In this matchup.
Yeah.
In this matchup.
And he has almost Worm Coil Engine in the form of Thragtusk in his hand.
Yeah. Antrazi. Going to start by breaking this Chromatic Star. Colorless and a green mana floating, it appears. He's actually going to go with a red. Now he'll draw a card from the star. Looks like he picked up another copy of Thragtusk. John already has enough difficulty with Worm Coil Engine. Thragtusk isn't any easier to deal with.
Nope.
Now it just depends on how Antrazi wants to sequence things. He's certainly in the driver's seat now.
And this is kind of the opposite of what we saw last game, where the Jund deck has very little going on.
Yeah.
You know, like you said, the Tron player on the play, able to get his Tron pieces out there before the disruption and do basically whatever he wants.
Yep. There's Thragtusk. Antrazi going to gain 5 life, up to 23. And now here come the beatdowns. No more mana floating, so we'll get those out of here. Looks like Ali just going to go after Uppal's Life. Doesn't care about Liliana at all.
Sure, he's got some extra cards in his hand.
Yep. There's Ghost Quarter. Pass the turn back. Uppal already down to 5. How about 2 now? So it's going to be like this. Thoughtseize is nice. Perhaps a Maelstrom Pulse on the way. And there is Pulse. That'll take care of the worm tokens. And there's a Forest. Liliana's going up. And Uppal already ready to discard. There goes O-Stone. Bloodstained Mire down. Pass the turn back. Antrazi may be considering sacrificing the Expedition map. Just doesn't know any land he wants to find.
Sure, I mean, having the map on the board is a bit of a safety net. If he loses one of his Tron pieces, he can immediately find a replacement for it. So that's one reason to not sacrifice it right now. Looks like he will cash it in. He'll get the Eye of Ugin.
Yep. Just kidding.
Won't get the Eye of
Just
Ugin.
tricked you. It's a little juke there.
Just showing off the cards in his deck.
Yeah. Just a little juke. Gonna check his sideboard here for something really quick. Let's see how many spell skites he has left. I think he boarded all the spell skites out. Just to kind of trick you.
Yeah. No, he's just like, check out these cards.
Yep.
Have you seen this before?
Yep. Might be considering Urza's Tower instead now. Now he's thinking about the Eye again. Thragtusk last card in hand.
Well, the Eye should do the same things as another Tron land.
I would think so, yeah.
If he draws an Ulamog here, he can still cast it.
Yep. If not, he can search for it.
Yeah, and if he doesn't draw it, he can go searching.
There is the minor concern that, you know, he blows up the Eye with Fulminator Mage, but I don't think this game's coming down to that.
And Justin doesn't have time to spend 3 mana to blow up a land.
Yeah. Here comes Ancient Stirrings, maybe. Yep. Take a look at the top 5. Karn's a game winner. Karn is in the top 5 cards.
That'll do it.
Yep. Karn is what he's going to take. Here comes Karn. that might be removing Dark Confidant. And if that's the case, this game will end as there is no clean answer for Tarmogoyf in Justin's deck for that mana cost.
And yeah, Ollie's going to play careful here. Just make sure he doesn't make a silly mistake. The game's well in hand.
Yep.
Take an extra second to think about this. Make sure you go into your evening undefeated.
Absolutely. Just going to figure out how he wants to use the powerful Planeswalker on what I think will be the last turn of this game, but it looks like Karn might be going up too. We'll see. And down it will go. What it'll target, nobody knows.
I think Ollie just wanted a little more FaceTime on camera.
Okay, yeah, we know.
A little Hollywooding.
Yep.
You know?
Yeah.
Do I get this land? Do I not get this land?
Yeah, sure.
Do I play Karn? Do I activate Karn? Oh, he goes up.
He's going up. Sure.
To the moon.
Yeah, take this Thoughtseize. Here comes Thragtusk. Easy chump block there. Pass the turn back. Thoughtseize the draw. Liliana down. Beast token left behind. The thing is there's nothing that kills. There are no cards that are consistently played that kill Tarmogoyf for that mana cost. Like, you don't see alternate price in these decks.
No.
Terminate can't be cast off of Forest Blackleaf Cliffs.
Yep.
Abrupt Decay can, obviously, but Abrupt Decay can't kill Thragtusk. So
maybe Murderous Cut.
yeah, it's a pretty big maybe. But that is valid. Liliana's going to go up.
But, you know, Ollie probably saw this one path. I'll probably win this other path. I'm definitely winning.
Sure.
You know, even if it takes a couple more turns.
Discard Ivogan. Boy. Abrupt Decay. Take care of that. Pass the turn back. Justin's got a real small window of winning this game. But it is possible. It's real hard, but it is possible. It just got harder. Yeah. Yeah, Wonko Engine's going to make it more difficult. Justin will draw a card. Wooded Foothills to go on Overgrown Tomb and a Liliana the Veil. And that is going to do it. Antrazi is going to win this match here over Justin Uppal. 2-1 for our Season 2 Invitational Champion last year. He is 9-0. He is right near the top of the standings. An unblemished record here in Cincinnati. Very impressive stuff.